crisis. As a father of three, I can't fathom what you're going through, and I'm truly sorry for your loss. Ms. Nungary, I introduced the House version of the Justice for Jocelyn Act, which I thank your family. You helped write it. You helped write it. I want to thank you for that, to honor the memory of your daughter and make sure preventable deaths of American citizens at the hands of illegal aliens never happens again. It doesn't have to happen. And thank you again for your family's help and on that. And again, my apologies. Spend a minute and share with the committee how important it is that this bill, this Justice for Jocelyn Act, that it gets passed.
I believe it's super important for it to get passed because we don't know who we're allowing in this country. And the fact there were hundreds of beds they could have had them in, there was no reason to do the catch and release. What we have going on, there was no reason for it. They should have stayed apprehended until their immigration court hearing.
That's right.
It's not right, it's not fair. It took an innocent child from a future. She was supposed to be part of the future for the next generation.
Well, I can assure this, you have my commitment. I think you have the commitment of the chairman and this entire Judiciary Committee that we're going to move on this. I think it's the right thing to do. It's very, very important. Unfortunately, there are countless other victims out there in the Kamala border crisis that didn't get an opportunity. They didn't get an opportunity to tell us their story in this committee today, and our witnesses are far from alone in their suffering. Ms. Fundrick is not alone in the loss of her son from the fentanyl. We've talked about the fentanyl and how it's poisoning our people. #1 cause of death for Americans 18 to 45. In 2021, more than 1,500 children died from fentanyl poisoning. In 2023, fentanyl deaths, over 100,000. And it could all be prevented. It could all be prevented. And fentanyl is just one part of the story. There are many other victims. The countless businesses been victimized by mass retail theft committed by gangs. Rural areas near the border who fear for their families as illegals trespass on their property. New York police officers being beaten by these mobs of illegal aliens. People who themselves or other family members assaulted, been robbed, killed by an illegal alien, including those by drunk driving, happened when I was the sheriff of Fort Bend County. Before I came up here, I had illegals. And the knucklehead, after we caught him, we find out he was deported 6 previous times. How the hell do you get deported 6 previous times? Because you just got back and forth, easy peasy for him. Hard to look at a guy, look at the family of Miss Boo, who was killed by this illegal, and say, I'm sorry, but this guy shouldn't be here. Unacceptable. Reports of the armed Venezuelan gangs of illegals taking over entire communities. I think you touched upon it, Colorado, that trend, Nicaragua. And what's frustrating about that is this, is the Border Patrol back in September 2022, they knew, they were alerted, hey, look out for these bad hombres coming out of Venezuela. Because what do we know? Back in 2015, Trump was right. I can remember when he said it. They're not going to send us their best or their brightest, right? And then Trump is all of a sudden labeled as this racist because he said such. They're going to send murderers, rapists. He's right. He's right. He's right all the time, quite honestly. He's certainly right here. So I send a letter to Mayorkas in September 2022 expressing my concerns about what we're hearing from the Border Patrol. What kind of response do you think I got from him? Nothing. I hear nothing. Then we go into February 24 with Laken Riley, that wonderful, beautiful nursing student, murdered by, again, another Venezuelan, right? Sent a letter to Mayorkas, and what do you think I get? What do I get back? Nothing. He just doesn't want to talk about it. He avoids it. Then we go to June of 2024, Jocelyn, Hungary. Again, 2 Venezuelans. Nicolas Maduro's not a dummy. He's not. He sends all the worst people up here because he knows it's going to cause chaos for our country. So he embeds them, he sends them into our country, and this is what we get. Venezuela's, their inflation is over 222%. Their poverty rate is at 50%. Why wouldn't he want them back? We can't find out what kind of people these are when they enter our southern border. We don't have a relationship with Venezuela to find out what kind of people these are. But I'll guarantee it, Kamala Harris, you're responsible for this. Do you know what her position was in the border real quick? And then I'm going to finish. Her campaign positions: pledge to end my immigrant detention, I'm going to taxpayer fund gender care. I'm going to decrease the funding of ICE, and I'm going to end ICE detainers. The American people are smarter than this, and if we're going to save our country, let's bring Donald Trump back. The American people are smart enough, and we're going to save our country and secure a border on November 5th. Donald Trump will do it for all of us because he puts America first. He puts you first and your families. God bless you all.